Studios has been a little bit hit or miss these days. Maybe they were stretching themselves a little too thin. But unfortunately, as with most properties, you make plans, you want to do stuff, and sometimes things fall through. And likely the rumor is going around that Armor Wars and the Blade movie are on the chopping block to not be done. This, hang on, I got my notes here. I'm just
The
trying to get
Blade
to
movie? Are you kidding me?
I know, which is amazing considering that they did just reintroduce Wesley Snipes as Blade. But
He looks pretty good.
I did announce on the show like a couple of weeks ago that Marvel was going to be scaling back properties, and a lot of things that were planned were not going to happen. Well, the rumor is that both of these projects are slated. They were slated to come out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They're not going to,
Right.
because none of them has started filming. Blade still doesn't have a script. Blade still doesn't have a director. So it's likely that these are the ones that are going to go on the chopping block. I will say, as a person of color, it's a shame that it's these two movies that drop. But another indicator was Don Cheadle was making an appearance on a show, and someone asked him about Armor Wars, and he said, "What's Armor Wars?" And people were like, "Ah, ha, 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 that's so funny." And then he went into a little bit damage control-y on it. And I've been waiting to see Armor Wars because it was going to be basically Rhodey chasing down the legacy of Tony and people taking his tech. Supposedly, Ironheart was going to be in there. They were going to cross paths at some point. But he was also going to go after people that he believed were stealing Tony Stark's tech. It's kind of Tony did this story in the comics where he went after people who he thought appropriated his technology, and even coming across some that did not take his tech. I wanted that story, but that's the insider. We don't know for sure. I want to say this is a rumor. This comes from a couple of inside people. But I will note that Blade has experienced a lot of issues. This movie has failed to get off the ground so many times, different directors, different writers. The only thing that we really know is that it was announced 4 years ago, and Mahershala Ali has not stepped onto a set to film this. This should have been a slam dunk. But the Armor Wars, unfortunately, it's looking like this is too big of a project, because at first it was going to be a television series on Disney+. Right. Then they said, oh, it's good enough to be a movie, which also could have played into maybe it would have cost us more to do that. Because if you're doing Iron Man, you're doing suits. You're doing a lot of special effects. Those suits are going to be moving around. You're going to have the War Machine armor, all of the intricate pieces moving. So, yeah, it's looking like Armor Wars, and I hope I'm wrong. I really wanted both of these movies. Also, why'd you have to drop these two? Drop Agatha all along. No one cares.
I really don't.
I think I care enough to maybe check it out because of the people in it.
Like Aubrey and,
and Catherine something.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was excited about both of these projects. I watched Blade for the first time in the last 3 weeks. And really, really liked it, actually.
Yeah, it's really solid.
It was very, very different than what we think of today as like superhero movies, but I really liked it. I was really interested.
Oh, the first Blade laid the groundwork for everything that we have
really
in Marvel.
Interested to see
It saved Marvel
Mahershala
Comics from bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And from start, I mean, talk about a movie that like at the moment grabs you to introduce a character as well.
Yes.
One of the best openings of any movie, period.
And I was really interested to see Mahershala's take.
I know, yeah.
And I liked Riri. I thought she was very underutilized in Black Panther 2.
And we're still getting Ironheart.
Yeah, but like I was interested to see her, especially interact with Rhodey. And I thought they just didn't build her character very well, and I was interested to see how she developed. And yeah, we're still getting Ironheart, but I was really interested to see her.
Like, granted, like he kind of joked around like when he said like, "What's Armor Wars?" He was like, "If I tell you, I gotta kill you." Ha ha ha. But there was something there that I went like, like instant like fear.
Yeah.
And he was like, "It's okay." Is it? Is it? So. 2 properties I was actually excited for. I hope they don't make it onto the chop block. If anything, maybe delayed.
Yeah.
If it's not in budget.
I feel like with Blade, like there's enough of an audience, but there's also a few stars who are very passionate about it, like, I feel like they would push back. I hope that they're like, hey, no, we want to make this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I have so much respect for Blade because it also was like, hey, we can do a vampire thing with superheroes.
Yeah.
And so it kind of brought it into more like the fantasy realms for areas too.
And like one of the things that was said at one of the Marvel events, the Investor Day event actually, Nate Moore, who's a Parliament member of Marvel Studios, said, "Our Disney Plus shows are awesome and we love them, but the budgets are not the same as the features. That's not secret. And when you're talking about a show that wants to be about seeing all the cool armors and Don Cheadle interacting with all these armors and the legacy of Tony Stark, that became cost prohibitive to do it as a show, which is why they moved to a movie." The other part of that was the events of Secret War were supposed to play heavily into Armor Wars. And we all know that Secret Wars, it wasn't that good. I'm a Marvel fanboy. That was not that good. Especially for Nick Fury to turn around in the Marvels and be a completely different character.
They also got dinged pretty heavy during that show about their CGI.
Mm.
And skin is a lot harder than mechanical stuff to get right in CGI. That is true, but still.
One of the biggest criticisms I have of Marvel currently is that, like, they don't seem to believe that they should need to ever spend less money on anything ever. There's ways to do great CGI and great everything and not blow the budget through the roof. You tell the story differently.
Yeah.
And I'm a little mad. They're like, well, it was too expensive. And it's like, and we didn't look at any way in making it some cheaper before just ditching it.
Now, my final point on that, though, is I do have hope because Blade was going to get an R rating.
Yeah.
R rating brought money in with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Did it?
Yeah. They needed that shot of cash.
Yeah, they did.
So, might give hope for that series because, hey, we had success with one R rating.
Yeah.
Disney is known for that when we struck
Let's
that.
chase
Yeah.
that.
Go for that. So yeah, I'm hoping this isn't true, but I had to note it because.
I mean, I'm really proud of Deadpool and Wolverine for, like, Ryan Reynolds kind of being like, no, we don't want to fully integrate them. We don't want to water down Deadpool to be family friendly, and you don't want all your Marvel movies forever to be rated R. There's room for both of these demographics, and I hope they stay with it.
#1 R-rated movie.
Yeah, like, anyway.
So hopefully the rumors are true, but yeah, if we keep talking about it, it'd be harder for them to cancel it.
Yeah, so get in the chats, get online, petition them.
I want my damn Armor Wars.